Hi, my name is Fabian and I'm the founder of Bare Bones Yoga. My motto is keeping yoga simple, which reflects my commitment and passion for providing the essentials to help you increase strength and flexibility as well as relax. I was in my local coffee shop the other day talking to one of the baristas about things you can do to relax and stretch out if you've been working on your feet all day like he does. I'd like to show you some of those postures now. The first one is called Child's Pose. Coming onto your knees, taking your knees apart a little bit wider than your hips, you'll sit your hips onto your heels and drop your head down to the floor. Now if you already feel uncomfortable, especially because the knees are pressing onto the ground, you could take a folded up blanket and put it under the knees. You could also take a blanket and put it down, or a block, so that you could rest your head down onto the block, and take a folded up blanket and put it underneath your hips. You can play with these modifications and try the pose different ways to see what feels best. Once you're settled in, you're going to place your head down, take your arms by your sides with your palms facing the ceiling. It'll look like this. You would take 10 deep breaths just like that. Another way to do the pose is with your arms reaching forward. You just want to make sure that you're not crunching your shoulders up towards your ears. That would look like this. Stay as long as you'd like. Child's Pose is a great way to stretch out your lower back and your hips. Another pose that you can do to stretch out the back and hips is a knee down twist. Coming onto your back, you would draw the right knee to start out into the chest. It would look something like this. The left leg would be stretched out, the right knee would come in, your left hand holding the knee would draw it across the body over to the left side. Your upper shoulder will probably start to lift off the floor, so take your right palm, turn it up towards the ceiling, and give your upper shoulder a little shrug. Feel for the floor underneath your shoulder as you take the bent knee and just gently press it over to the left. As soon as your shoulder comes off the ground, you know you've gone too far. Back off the twist, reestablish your foundation underneath your upper shoulder, and take several deep breaths. You'll do the same pose on the other side, stretching out the right leg, hugging the left knee in, taking the right hand and guiding the knee across the body, and then opening the palm to face the ceiling, feeling for the upper shoulder, pressing onto the floor, taking several deep breaths as you turn the bent knee over to the right. The last pose that you can do, especially if you've been working on your feet all day, is called legs up the wall pose. What you'll do for our demonstration is we're going to pretend that there's a wall that we're going to press our legs up against. You'll come onto your back like this, and then you'll press your feet up towards the ceiling. You'll press your legs into the wall, and if your hamstrings at all feel uncomfortable, you can take a blanket and fold it and sit on the blanket. Pressing your legs up towards the ceiling and flat against the wall, make sure your bottom is pressed as close as it can get against the wall. Take your palms, turn them up to the sky, relax your shoulders down your back, and stay as long as you'd like. You could even take a cloth or a towel and place it across the eyes, close the eyes, and block out any external light in the room. Stay as long as you'd like, and it's so effective for getting the legs up, draining the feet and legs of all the fluids that have been pooling in them as you've been standing on the feet. To come out of the pose, draw the knees into the chest, roll over onto your side, and press up to seated. I hope you found these poses helpful. If you do work on your feet, they're a great way to relax and rest and stretch out when you come home. Even if you don't spend a lot of time on your feet, these poses can be highly relaxing and restorative, especially when done before you go to sleep. If you have any questions, please let me know. The best way to reach me is via my website, barebonesyoga.com. Namaste.